Hello and thanks for tuning in to Me and My Golf TV. You've joined us here on the 14th tee at the Asprey. I'm Piers Ward, and Andy, we have a special video today.
We do, yes. We're talking about the new A-Swing by David Leadbetter. We're going to see if there's anything in the golf swing that can help you. Let's take charge of your game. Okay, so David Leadbetter is back on the scene again after what seems a long time out of the public eye, but he's been busy, Piers, by the looks of it. He's been busy creating this new A-Swing, which is an alternative approach to the golf swing. Some interesting things, interesting movements in this golf swing, but he's done some research to find really what he feels the best way to get the golf swing on plane and get the arms and body working together, but also to produce maximum results with minimal effort.
I'm in.
It sounds good.
I'm in. I'm listening already.
So we thought
Intently.
we'd do a video for you guys. If you haven't already seen it, we thought we'd do a video for you guys explaining what the A-Swing is all about, explaining some of the things that could be beneficial to you, what we like in it, and then also some of the things that you need to be careful with if you do practice this move as well. So we're going to split it into three parts. We're going to talk about the setup changes, the backswing changes, and then the downswing changes, and then go through some of the things that we like, and as we mentioned, some of the things that you need to practice if you do this right.
Okay.
So Piers, the whole purpose of the A-Swing for David Leadbetter is really, as we said, it's to get the arms and body more in sync and to get the golf club on plane in the downswing. So we know these are good things. These are the things that we're seeing day in, day out. So let's go through the setup. First of all, the changes that he's made in the setup.
Subtle changes then, okay. So first of all, with the grip. So left hand, so for the right-handed golfer, getting it into a stronger position. So yes, in the fingers, but getting it into a stronger position so we can see three knuckles on the top hand, were his words. So that straight away is obviously maybe slightly different to maybe the two knuckle, which would be the normal. So three knuckles, slightly stronger grip, but in the fingers. Now right hand, interesting that the right hand would go the other way into what we call a weak position. So the right hand, instead of perhaps bringing it in from the side, as we often talk about, bringing it in from up high so that the hand comes on top like so the hand goes around more to the left.
We've got more of this sort of, what he calls it, the butterfly effect, where the hands are more like this on top of each other, Piers.
Yeah, definitely. So, and this is actually a very crucial part of the A-Swing. It allows for a lot of things to happen. And whenever David Leadbetter's spoken about the grip before, whether it's been us watching him or in his golf books, his DVDs, he's very much a stickler for the grip.
He does,
So grip, important. Stance, right foot, pulls the right foot back. So the right foot, you can see that makes my feet alignment go to the right. Obviously my knees will go a little bit right, but I'm not consciously working at those. And obviously the hips will be a little bit right because of it, but mainly the feet, getting them going out to the right. Shoulders, you can see, are pretty square.
Definitely so.
Now from there, posture, we obviously need a good posture, so athletic posture, tipping from the hips, but really feeling as though the arms are into the body, so the biceps are into the chest, into the pecs, so that helps obviously with all this synchronization that David's going to be talking about in his backswing.
Definitely, so a good athletic posture, but mainly the two bigger changes are the slight change in the grip and the feet alignment. So they're the real changes in this A-Swing, should we say. Okay, let's go into backswing. This is where it really changes. So a little bit different to what we'd normally see the conventional golf swing. Piers, the move away, what does David sort of want to see in this A-Swing move away?
So move away is very important that the handle moves back and the club head stays outside of that. So the club head stays outside of the hands and the first part of the backswing. You can see the club face is very strong now, pointing at the ball virtually, and the right arm is straight at this place.
Definitely. So what David sort of talks about, he says as you move the club away, he wants the butt in and the club out. Now, we would normally see at this point that the club head is in line with the hands and a little bit more upwards. So having the butt in and the club out is a lot different, a big difference in the feeling, certainly for the right arm. The face is a little bit more closed also, isn't it, Piers?
Definitely, definitely.
Okay, let's move it up from there.
Okay, so now as we get to that sort of waist-high position, the big thing from here now is to use the wrists, is to create the hinge, the set, the cock, whatever you want to call it, in those wrists. Now the grip is paramount for this. Because of the grip, the butterfly formation of it, it allows you to have a cup in the left and the right wrist, so a little bit of a cup angle there. Then from there, it's so simple to do that. So I can actually get the club very vertical from there. I can cock the wrists, and as you can see, the toe line sorry, the butt of the shaft is pretty much pointing at the toe line.
Definitely, and again, what David's sort of saying here, this club is up on its end at this point. We see so many golfers with the club sort of round here at this point, but David wants to get the club up on its end early, somewhere sort of between almost spine angle and here, really, where that club is really up in the air.
And the left arm is very much pinned to the chest, so that synchronization, that harmony that David's after, it's easy to get from there. So
okay, so we've got that set in the wrists, and then from there, the top of the backswing piece is a little shorter than usual.
Yeah, shorter than usual, but this is the big move, which is, I think, the most important part of this A swing, is actually called the V plane now, which is actually the shaft and getting in transition to shallow it behind you. So from here, lower body starts a downswing, but then the shaft transition is a lot shallower, and you can see it creates. If I do that again, as we get to the top, from this position here, as I then transition, I'm creating a V shape, and David calls that the V plane.
Definitely.
So from there,
you swing the top as well, Pierce, there. So go to the top for me. So again, at the top of the backswing, what he's saying is that the club should actually be what we call a little cross plane, where it points more to the right. And this then, as the club is sort of up on its end, this allows for that shift. So that allows for that V, as he calls it, that V plane there. So again, a little bit different to what we've been maybe thought of in the past, but there's certain elements of this that could work in your golf swing if you are somebody who maybe swings under and over.
So almost exaggerations, really, aren't they, of what we're after?
Definitely. Let's just go through one quick look at this again. So first part here, we'll talk about this V, the butt end in, the club out. The club now is setting on the way back, and then again, this is now sort of in the transition. He talks about this V here. And there's that sort of big difference between the backswing plane and the downswing plane. So it's a shift to the plane, but with the club more up on its end, Pierce, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, right, so let's talk about then, Pierce, what do we like about this?
There's a lot of things, aren't there? And as you said, it's an exaggeration almost. I think the first thing is the grip, the left hand. By getting that left hand in the fingers and in a slightly stronger position, I can cock the club like so. If I were to go into a weaker position where I can't see any knuckles, it's a lot harder for me. That I can do it, but it's blooming hurting. Yeah. It's difficult for me to get that club there. Whereas the club is a lot easier, the grip pressure is a lot lighter, so much easier from
Definitely,
there.
and again, this is what David calls it. He talks about getting life into the shaft, putting swing into the swing, he calls it, but getting some life into that shaft where we can use those wrists with a softer grip pressure, which we're definitely like that.
Definitely.
Okay, move away.
Posture obviously is absolutely something we would need as well. We'd want. I do like the feet line to the right as well. That's something that encourages the path of the club to be more out to the right. A lot of people over the top and path too much to the left. So if you can get the feet line to the right, that can definitely help with that. Now, what we like about the takeaway is we often see this in takeaways where the arm disconnects from the body. The club face is rolled behind and open, or even the club face out there and disconnected. As soon as you do that, you're having to play catch up then for the rest of your backswing before you even start your downswing.
Definitely.
So definitely it's a good idea to get that left arm running across the chest, and this takeaway definitely helps.
So we like the feeling of the butt end moving in, mainly because we see so many people move that club early, don't we, on the way back.
Absolutely.
So this sort of helps get the club sort of and the arms in sync with the body also. So again, we do like that. Good. The backswing as
wrist
we go back.
So the rest of it, the wrist set, we talk about wrist cock a lot. Great for storing energy in the club and putting energy into the club. Great for playing, great for controlling the club face, great for accuracy. Wow, why not do that?
Definitely.
Okay. Why not do it?
So from there, again, the shorter backswing, we definitely like this. The arm is more underneath the chest. We see a lot of people who get the arms running too far out of sequence with the body. So the shorter swing, sometimes again, we're not going to lose power from having this shorter swing, Piers.
And very difficult to stand up doing this swing as well.
Definitely.
So people who stand up like so, you are not going to really do that with this backswing.
So the shorter swing is going to help keep your arms more in sync with the torso. And then downswing, Piers, this sort of V plane that you talked about, the shallowing off.
I just think that's the most important part. I think, once this is good and once that's good there, it's great. But then that transition, because the shaft is so upright, you have to do that.
Yeah.
You cannot come down that way, otherwise you're going to hit horrendous shots. So from here, it kind of makes you do that move.
Yeah,
and if we can do any kind of drill or swing which makes you move into a position we want, then we'll definitely do that.
Definitely. So there's a few things that we like about this. You know, we're yet to test it out with any of our clients or ourselves. I'm sure we will be testing it out on each other.
In a minute.
But there's certain things that we do like to, you know, that you could take from this. Now, there are certain things though that could go wrong if you practice this. So we're going to just talk about a couple of things that, if you are going to sort of implement these in your game, things that you need to make sure you do to get it correct.
Get someone, you know, speak to a coach, you know, maybe video it, you know, speak to us. You know, you've got to, I suppose there's two main areas that we sort of look at that could potentially cause problems. And it'd be interesting to get David's thoughts on this as well, I suppose. But right arm in the backswing being straight, that can often, we see, lead to a poor shift of weight. So not able to sort of load up the back, the trail leg. So you can see I'm sort of leaning into that lead side from there.
So in an effort to keep the club outside the hands and the right arm on top, you could easily get into that position, Pierce, where we call it that reverse spine angle, where we are leaning the other way. So it's paramount that if we do get this position that he talks about on the way back, where the club is outside the hands, we need to be able to create a good wind-up with the body. And this is something that David mentions, talking about creating a good wind-up, not a turn, a wind-up where we create the resistance.
So he's absolutely aware of it, that this could be an issue. So, you know, sort of does this drill where you hold onto your rib cage or your oblique muscles here, if I can find mine. And then from there, what we're going to get you to do is we're going to get you to load up into that trail side. And you can see I'm really feel as I'm, you know, my core is engaged and I'm getting into that trail side. I'm not obviously letting it go there. No core, no strength there. From here, strong legs, good sort of move into that trail side. Feels good.
So there's a great sort of a drill that you can do if you are doing it in the backswing. Really needs to be done as well. So let's again go through now the important part, Pierce, which is all about transition. This is key. So what don't we want to see?
Well, from here, if you were to just sort of almost come back down on the path that you went back on and not get the V plane and actually just keep it there, what we'd call maybe the I plane. Okay. From there, you'd see that the club would just come down like that. So it would come down on the same path and it would be very much swinging over the top and swinging to the left. Now, we don't need to tell you that's obviously going to harm your game. But the good thing with this is, I really do believe that if you were to get into that position, I think you'd find it hard to do that. You know, you know, quite quickly you'd have to get that transition and change it.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, you know, I think one thing that we do notice with the better golfers, they are better in transition. They start with the lower body. They are able to sequence the downswing better. It'd be interesting to sort of test it out. If we get let's say an 18 handicap appears, to see if we get them in a perfect backswing, how efficient is their downswing transition, and can they actually get it onto this plane? So, you know, I mean, an extreme example would be Jim Furyk, someone with a very steep backswing. His arm plane is very different, but he's got a very steep backswing with a shaft, but he sequences it down very, very well. So, I think the key thing is here, this is something that's going to be maybe tested. I'm sure he's done it a little bit as well, but you know, can we get the average golfer, the 15, the 20 handicap, to actually get it steep to shallow?
That's something that he's actually said a lot, isn't it? And he can that he has managed to be able to do that, and you know, with biomechanics and what have you, you've been able to test it and say, look, this is the most efficient way to swing a golf club. That's the sort of things that he's saying. So you know, when David Leadbetter says something, we've got to at least look at it and sort of see what components we can take out. But I just think what the main thing is, it's an exaggeration, as you said. Jim Furyk, Ricky Fowler, Sergio Garcia, these guys they're kind of exaggerations of what we would really like, which is to get that transition and feel as though
get it onto plane.
It either comes down shallower or at least comes through the ball in a good place.
And remember, the purpose of this A-swing is to get the arms and body in sync and on plane. That is really the key thing. Pierce, okay, let's give it a shot. Yeah, let's see if we can, see if we can get it.
Feet closed, left hand stronger, right hand weaker. Let's get the club head outside there. I'm just going to give myself a quick swing key there. So from there and then under.
And then shallow.
There's a few things to think about, but you know what? I think I can make this flow.
I think you can.
And I think with obviously a few shots would be even better. Here we go. A little bit thin, but I tell you what.
It was a steady little draw though, wasn't it?
Lovely little draw.
It was a steady little draw.
And it wasn't far off. I think that was my first attempt. I actually haven't had a practice of that yet. That was actually all from... Was it any good?
It was all right, yeah, it was good.
There was that
we'll see on the camera, we'll get a slow-mo of that, shall we? Okay, guys, so I hope that helps. I mean, I hope that helps sort of understand the A-plane a little bit, sorry, the A-swing a little bit more. And maybe there's some things in there that you could implement in your game, but I think that if you are, you've got to make sure you're doing it correctly, and the body motion is still key there, isn't it? And you've got to shift it onto plane, so make sure you do that.
Crucial that you get the transition good. Get the V-plane if you play golf at all, get the V plane, you'll be happy.
Definitely.